In this video, I'm going to show you how to do an inventory management system. So let's see what it is made of. Then we go into the details of building it up. So first of all, here I have my master and sheet, and I use this master sheet to record the details about the products that I buy and sell. So I have the ID, product name, category, the cost at which, this is the price at which you buy, and the price is the cost at which we sell. This is how much we sell this item for, and this is how much it costs us. So in a new item that we get, we have to enter it into the master sheet. Then the next sheet is called in, and we use this sheet to record all our purchases. What we purchase is recorded in this sheet, and the details we record is we give it a date, the name of the product. We get the name of product from this drop down here. And if you don't know how to get to create a drop down, you have to go to data validation, choose the cell where you want the drop down to be, and go and select where you want the items that are going to be populated into the drop down, where they're going to be picked from, the range of those items. From my case, it is masters B2, column B2, then you say save. So it is picking them from this column B2 and coming and populating there. Then lastly, we have the quantity. So all I want us to do is to enter these three columns, and the rest will be populated, which will be the same case when we sell. And lastly, we shall look at our reports. So let's get started. To get us started, I got some sample data, which I inputted here. Now I want the ID, category, and unit cost to automatically be picked from this table here and then populated in here. So to do that, I'm going to use XLOOKUP. And what XLOOKUP can work as VLOOKUP. However, it's more flexible. I'll take the search key, and the search key I'll be using the product name, and this one will assume that the name of the product is unique. We are not going to have, in our master here, we cannot have another product with the same name. If that's the case, then this one will not work. So the first argument is the search key. I'm going to search by this item. Then the lookup range, where do I look up this water? I'm going to use my master, this one. I drop, select the whole column. The next is when I get it, what is the result range? I want the result range to come from here because I'm looking for the ID, remember? Then if it is not found, what do I return? Maybe empty space. I want an exact match, close the brackets, and there you go. So you can go on doing one by one, like so. But for my case, I think I'm going to use a different approach. Can do for this, then go back to that, and then compute the total cost. So I say XLOOKUP. First argument is the search key, which is this water. Lookup range, where am I going to look up this water? I'm going to look up it under column B. I drop that. Then the next is the result range. Now I'm going to use curly braces, open and close. The first item I need is the ID. I select the ID, comma. The next item I need is a category. Select the category, drop. The next item I need is the price. Drop that. After that, I go outside the curly braces. What's the next argument? If it is missing, return nothing. If I want an exact match, I close, I get an A. So now the problem is that the ranges are of different sizes, so you need to be careful about that. So if you observe, my ID starts from A2, category starts from C2, my master's price starts from E2, but here I started my range for the product name under B1. So this makes the ranges to be of different sizes, and that's why we are getting this error. Arguments to the XLOOKUP are of different sizes. So to correct this, I need to come here and change this to 2 so that they're all uniform. And I think these references need to be fixed so they're not disorganized. Go to FO. Then let me see whether I can fix all this at once. Great. Do that. Then come back here, copy it down, and there you go. So I'm happy with this. So my total price will be the total quantity times the unit price. We get a total autofill, and that's all that is done. So these are my cells. So if I have a new cell, I'll come here, insert a date, select the item, buying some beers to take, put in the quantity, and it computes everything automatically. So this is our sales sheet, and we can do the same for the purchases. And given that my sheets are uniformly arranged, I believe I can just copy this and go to my purchases sheet, paste it right there, put in this times this. The only thing I have to change is that since I'm purchasing, I need to use the unit cost. Now this is the selling price. This is column E from the master. Column E from the master is the selling price, but I just need to change it to D. So I'll come back here and change this column to D so that it picks the unit cost that I want. Okay. Because the selling price is 2,000 for water, and the cost price is 1,000, as you can see right here. So once you do that, the rest is easy. Copy it down, and you have your data populated. So the next day, from entering my purchases, I'll come here and say, enter the date and select orange juice, which I'm buying. When I select orange juice, you can see all these other items are automatically populated because there is a formula in there that is doing the work for us. So all I did to do is complete these 3 columns, and the rest are automatically populated when I'm purchasing. When I'm selling, I'll do the same. Pick these 3. I'll not need to enter these categories and unit costs because all these are under my master. So that is how we create the master, the purchases sheet, and the sales sheet. Next, we're going to look at how we do our report. And the way I want to design this report is in such that I want to use the same space. I can come here and select sales. I've put in a drop down which has sales and purchases. I can select purchases. Then the purchases will appear below here. Now, in this case, there will be totals of whatever I've purchased. If it is water, to give me the total quantity of water and the total value as regards the purchases. When I change it to sales, it gives me the total quantity of sales as regards to water and the total value, how much I've fetched from the water in totality. Then up here, I've just put sum, which will sum the quantity and right now up here, I've also put the sum of the value. So I didn't want to use another sheet for sales report, for purchases report. I want all to be controlled by this drop down and have everything in here. Of course, you could also have one sheet for both purchases and sales, but you need to have a column to differentiate what is a purchase, what is a sale. You could also do it that way, and it could also work. So next here is, now how is it going to work? If I select sales here, I want us to go to the sales sheet, which is this out, pick the water, and come and populate it here, both quantity and water. But it needs to pick it from this sheet of sales. If it is purchases, it needs to pick it from purchases sheet. So how do we achieve that? To achieve that, we need to use an indirect formula. And what I've also done here is I've gone in and said product name, because I'll need the product name. I'll need this product name. I'll need the total value, which is this, and I also need the quantity. So I got the references from the different sheets for these items, and I populated them here. To show you an example, product name in starts from B2 to B12. If I go to in, product name is under B2 to B12. I've added an item here, so you can come and change this as well if you want, or you can make it run up to the end to avoid changing the formula all the time. You can make it a row that runs from top to bottom. Now, before I go into that, let me explain the indirect method. So this indirect reference, for example, if I go and say indirect, then refer to cell F3, close the brackets, let's see what happens. It is going and picking the values under out G2 to G13. Those values are being picked and placed right here. So the first one is 2000 G under column G. Let's see, out G2 to G13, out G2 to G13, here 20,000. So it picks the values from there and puts them right here. Again, to show you another example, if I say indirect, if you don't use the indirect, you'll not be able to achieve what I want to do. So I'll be using this indirect and the SUMIF formula to compute the values. So the SUMIF formula, ideally what it does, it computes a sum based on a given criteria. So my criteria would be the product name, which I can get by the indirect reference as shown here. Now to get all the names that I have in my master, I use the unique function, go to that, then they drop the reference. If I have more, I'll not need to update my formula. So when I do that, I'll get a unique list of all my products as they appear here. Of course, if you want to sort, you can sort by and other things you can do. Now, the next thing is I want to select cells. So when I select cells, I want to go to the sheet of cells, which is marked out because I'm selling what inventory is going out. I want to go to that and then sum all the water quantities and bring the value here and the total value of the cells here. So to do that, I'll be using the SUMIF. But before I also do the SUMIF, I also need to tell Google Sheets that now it is time to go to the sales sheet, or it is also time to go to the purchases sheet, and all that will be determined by what is shown in this drop down here. So the first thing I'll do is say if this drop down, and because I'm going to copy my formula down to get messed up, I need to lock it. If that value in the drop down is equal to sales, it means I need to go to the sales sheet, and the sales sheet is marked out. So I need to apply my SUMIF formula on the sales sheet. And as I said, I'll need the range where I'm going to, on which I'm going to base, pick the value on which I'm going to sum. So in my first case, I will need the range for water, where does water lie? And in our case, as I showed you earlier, it is under B2 out, B2 to B13. To access it, I'll use the indirect method, as I showed you earlier. Then I refer to this cell. I'll lock that because I have to copy my formula down, close it. Then my criteria is the product name. Okay. My criteria is the product name, then comma. The next argument is the sum range. So the sum range of the quantity is this one here, out C2 to C13. It is this one here, which is under, this is column A, B, C. So I'll say indirect, and I refer to this cell here because I'm copying this value down. I don't want it messed, so I need to lock it as well. Then press enter. That. Now this one works for the sales. If I change it to purchases, you get false. I need to add the formula for purchases. So I'm saying that if B3 is sales, do this sum here. Okay. Then if it is not sales, meaning that now it is purchases, I'll need to do another sum if. Again, I'll need a criteria, but this time I need to select, because these are now purchases, I'm not going to the out, I'm going to the in, because inventory is coming in. And to get to that, I need to use the reference, which is this. I have to lock it because I have to copy it down, comma. My criteria is this water here. So I'm saying pick water from the sheet, which has purchases, that is in, then comma. Then the sum range also will go to, for the quantity, I'm summing quantity. Remember, this, I have to lock it like so. And I think after that, I close my if function and say, okay. So I copy this down. Now, if I change to purchases, you see the value changes and my total changes. Let's check to see whether we are correct. So my purchases are under sheet in, and this is 1100. In water, the first one, the quantity is 100. The next one is 400, that makes 500. The next one, 500 plus 400 is 900. The next water is 900 plus 200, which comes to 1100. So we have finished quantity. Let's do the same for the value. So I'm going to say if this dialog, which I'm going to lock because I'm going to copy my formula down, has the value cells, I'm going to do a sum if on my cells sheet of the quantity. So this is the range. So I do an indirect. If you don't use indirect, it will not work. Of the total for the cells. And then I need to lock this. Sorry, the sum if the first one is not that. The first one is the range, which is this one here. But I have to use indirect. This, lock it, comma. The criteria, of course, is the water, comma. The sum range, I'll say indirect. Now I'm interested in the total of the cells. Total of the cells is under the out sheet. This is the range. I lock that. Then I close my sum if for the cells. So if it is this, if B3 has cells, this is what is going to happen. Then if not, I'm assuming it will have purchases. And again, I'll do the sum if for the purchases, but this time I'll be picking it from the purchases sheet. So my range for the criteria will be that. My criteria will be the water here, and then I'm interested in the total value, which is under this G2 to G13, but I'll use indirect. Then G2 to G13, I have to lock that, comma, close the indirect, close the sum if, and close the if function. I hope everything is okay. Everything is locked very well. Press enter and you get the value here. So my selection here is purchases and telling me the total water value, monetary value is 1.1 million. Let's check. This is purchases. Purchases is under in. So we have the first water, which is 100,000. Next water, 400,000. The next water here, 400, 100 plus 400, 500, 500 plus 400, 900, and 900 plus 200, we get 1.1. So this is correct. So if I change this to purchases, I get 48,000. But I get sales of 48,000. And out, my first water is 20. Second water is 20, that's 40. And my last water is 8, which comes to 48,000. So this way I've been able to do a simple system that can monitor my inventory in Google Sheets. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. And if so, hit the subscription button. If you have not, like and share this video, and see you in the next video. Plus, having a great day. Thank you for watching.